Last time on Trading Bull Z, SPY gapped down and found support around 286. But today, shortly after the opening bell, it fell off a cliff, and much of the chat got into SPY puts. Did they defeat the SPY gods, or did they get clapped? And where did SPY end the day? And what does it mean for the rest of the week? Find out on this exciting episode of Trading Bull Z. What's going on, Z Traders? InnoTrader here, and today we have your market recap. Oh my God. Today was just one of those days. It was unbelievable. The chat got into some SPY puts. SPY totally ran off a cliff in the beginning of the market today, and it looked like we were just gonna go. We were gonna make tons of cash in SPY puts. It gapped all the way down to around 270-ish, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, bam, recovery, jumped up, and we had a pin bar close, and that should have been our signal to get out. So check it out. This is the daily SPY chart. We got the double top, right? We came down 2 days in a row. But look at what happened on the third day. Now, I told everyone yesterday that if SPY, the closes are very pivotal, right? Because we're trading in this little channel right here, okay? Up against the 200 MA and then down to around here. And we went a little bit past it, but we bounced back up, right? So it looks as if this channel is still alive. And for tomorrow, this suggests we closed up, by the way. So I told you guys in the chat yesterday that if we closed below the previous day close, SPY was going to be done for the week. It still is, but there's hope for this bounce now. So we may go back up, channel a little bit and hit the 200 MA again, right? So be very careful, guys. You gotta watch, and it's very hard because you have to watch multiple time frames at one time. You can't be, a stickler on any given time frame, because each time frame has its own frame of reference. So if you're trading off of 5-minute or 10-minute, 15-minute candles, and the hourly chart is in total disagreement, and you don't know where the levels are, because this is what happened to me, and we'll get to my trades in a little bit. But one of the things that happened to me today is got into a trade, and it was going my way, but I didn't realize, because I wasn't looking at the overall pivot points on the hourly chart, that it was right at almost resistance a little bit after I got to the trade. So it ran into a brick wall and fell, and inevitably I lost money, right? So the past, I would say, 5 trading sessions for me have really been trying and really been testing, and it's really, been bringing me to the brink. And you got to have mental toughness to do this, because you have to sit there some days and look at some serious losses, people. It's no joke. It can get very real really fast, right? But today I was down, right? I came out of the gates, my swings hit, so I was in the building. I was happy. I should have walked away at that point, right? But I was like, nope. I didn't get into the SPY puts with chat. Chat got into the SPY puts. everybody was happy, and because I saw what SPY was doing, and I'm like, I don't know about this. That gap down was too fast. I saw the pin bar close, and I'm like, this is going to reverse. And I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So if you look at the chart, you can see the pin bar close. This is never good for puts. If you see a huge pin bar like that after a spike downwards, if it doesn't continue, like if it jumps right back up, that's telling you that this is a serious. There's a ton of buyers down here, so it's not going to stay down here for long. Jump right back up, and then we channeled up from there on out, right? So in between time, and by the way, this is 5-minute chart, so let's take a look at the 60-minute charts, see what we get going on here. So on the 60-minute chart, you can clearly see why it bounced up, right? Because there's a pivot, the bottommost pivot point level, which is like when all else fails, this is the level that will save the day. And it did. And we bounced up off of this. See, that's why multiple time frames, people. I cannot stress this enough. Multiple time frames is very paramount, right? We bounced up to yesterday's close, came back down. This hourly candle close came up, a little sheepish in here. And by the way, yesterday's close was in the same zone as the next level, pivot point up. So this is like super resistance right here. We bust through it. On the final candle, SPY closed in the green, and we have some bullish momentum going in tomorrow, which brings me to the economic data that came out today. Of course, we had jobless claims, so they did fall, but that's only because they were forecast more conservatively, or actually they were forecast to be worse than what they were. So of course they came back that they weren't as bad as what people were expecting, but still, I mean, to this point, we have 36 million people who are currently unemployed now because of this situation. And even though the amount of people who are filing is the claimants are going down. Well, the claimants are going up, but the amount of people reported that are unemployed is going down. So it's kind of mixed. So while we're on the subject, don't take this opportunity for granted that we have, people. You can develop this into a skill, okay, that can make you in excess of 5-6 figures a day. We've seen people do it. We know it's possible. You just have to develop the skill set, right? And most of that is mental. Mental mistakes will cost you everything in this game. Okay? You cannot, you must limit the amount of mental errors you make. You must control you must become a master of your emotions, because FOMO and chasing and revenge trading and not having patience have all led me to shed a large amount in my account over the past week, right? And these are emotions and things that a lot of traders struggle with. I know everyone out there who's watching this video, you guys, go through this stuff because we're all human, right? I mean, it's you see all this money and you're like, I got to get there, I got to get there, I got to get there, but you got to take your time, you got to slow it down, You got to bring yourself back. You got to you got to follow your trading plan, okay? People don't plan to fail, they fail to plan, all right? So you got to make sure that you're following your trading plan to a T every day. It's very difficult, but if you don't, okay, you're going to end up your account's going to be done in short order, right? You don't want to blow up your account. So um, the best way to do that is to plan the trade, and trade your plan. All right. Um, so let's not let this opportunity be lost on us. Let's not take this opportunity we have for granted, because everybody doesn't know about this or know how to do it. And even though we're still learning, we still have the privilege to go out there every day and basically print money. If you learn how to do this, if you can discipline yourself to learn how to do this, you essentially, along with the Federal Reserve, right, have a license to print money. So uh, we talked about a couple stocks that we were looking at today, as far as earnings was concerned, and those was Applied Materials and Wix. Applied Materials missed their earnings, but they were up today about $23 because of the forward guidance that they gave, and they did say that the semiconductor business is still robust, and we know that because they are, they supply RAM and different components to chip, computer makers, like um, HP and all the major electronic companies. So that's still strong. And even though the consumer segment is kind of weak, the commercial segment is still strong. Wix, um, their earnings are coming out after hours, so we'll see what they do tomorrow. But like I said, they were up $23 today. And looking forward to tomorrow, SPY, like I told you, is showing signs of reversing the trend. Now, if we zoom out here, we can actually see what's going on, right? Look at that. Looks familiar, doesn't it? Patterns tend to repeat themselves, right? Bounce, come up, bounce, come up. So we got some things going on here. Also, I think it's very interesting that we have a, the 50 MA crossing the 200 MA EMA. Now, most of you in chat should know what that means when this happens. This is commonly referred to as a death cross, right? And you can clearly see what happened. This is something we weren't necessarily paying attention to at the time, but if we did, we could have caught this move. And if not this one, the second move down. Now, I'm not saying that this is by any means over, but this pin bar typically always signals a reversal. And that's what we got today. So we will see how tomorrow goes. Again, looking forward to the daily charts, we got this close here, which looks like a bullish reversal, right? And we can see that we're still in this channel, up, down, right? Are we going to get a triple top? Or do we continue to go down from here? Well, it depends. Right now, we're coming from being oversold, because typically we don't stay oversold or overbought for extreme amounts of time. So when you take everything into consideration, and then, MACD, that's not telling us much here. But the point is, you have to look for multiple confirmations. Okay, multiple confirmations. So Friday's going to be much less volume. It's going to be the close of the week. I think we are going to close Friday in the green. Maybe there may be a sell-off, end of the week sell-off. It's very possible. This was the first green day in 3 days. So it's quite possible that we, just took a break and then we continue downward, or we actually start a reversal here. So pay attention. Tomorrow's close is going to be very important, because if we close below today's close tomorrow, that signals a continuation of this downtrend. Now, I know everybody loves to scalp, right? But the real money is made with long holds. So if SPY is actually going to break out of this range, right? If we get the signal that this is going to be a continuance to the downside, go grab you some July or June puts, right? Of course, you got to set up the entries and exits and know what your profit and stuff is and have your plan all together. Don't just enter willy-nilly. But once you've done all that, grab some month outputs and, ride them for like a week. And, you take your best day trading and scalping, and you times it by 10, and you'll have that on your P&L if this continues to the downside, right? So remember, folks, implied volatility matters, right? We're selling, we're buying, we're flipping insurance contracts. Think of it that way, right? Insurance is more expensive when it's thought to be there's going to be a higher chance of a catastrophic event, right? And insurance is cheaper when there's not going to be a high chance of a catastrophic event. So keep that in mind, right? So if a stock goes down suddenly, the reason why you make a lot of money is not because the stock's movement, that has certainly a part to do with it, but the IV. Because if you guys were in those SPY puts, whenever this happened, that pin bar to the downside occurred, you probably would have seen your account flash with some crazy amounts of money, even if you didn't have that many contracts, because the IV at this time was going bonkers, because it's uncertainty and we don't know what's going to happen. But as this leveled off and came back to normal, IV stabilizes and gets back to normal. So I'm going to be looking up some ways to utilize IV in order to basically extend your profits or maximize your profits too. So, of all the things that we do have to be aware of, the Greeks and delta and theta and time decay and IV crush and this and that, there's always something you get in time frames and candlesticks and patterns and this and that and divergences. It's a lot. It's literally a master's, a graduate degree course, trying to get this stuff and learn it and memorize it and put it to good use on a daily basis. Because there's a lot of stuff in the market that I see that I'm like, dang, I've really missed out on that. Like, how did I miss out on that? I know this. But then I look after the fact, I'm like, dang, I wish I would have seen that. So be careful tomorrow, guys. It's going to be a wild day. Less volume too. So whatever moves happen are going to be what they are. So don't get into anything prematurely. Utilize extra risk management tomorrow, and wait for confirmation before you hop into anything. Wait for the break of, support or resistance. Wait till we get in it. Not, don't anticipate it and try to jump it. I got clapped like that today. And that's actually a perfect segue into the plays that I got in today. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot. But first, let's take a look at something that I think is going to be interesting to watch for tomorrow. So, Home Depot, they're coming out with earnings. Keep an eye on this. They were up $4.30 today. Could have made a little bit of money, but they gapped up just like everything else at the end of the trading day. Keep your eye on it. So we'll see. I've seen a lot of people outside of Home Depot while this is going on. Can't do anything else. Home improvement, spring cleaning. So this is something to keep your eye on. I don't know, honestly, if they'll miss or beat, but what I do know is that they report right before the open. So we should see. Maybe you can capitalize on this if it decides to go down. This can be a problem for a recovery on SPY tomorrow if Home Depot does miss. Be careful. So just something I thought I'd put out there for people to watch. Now, let's get into the plays. But first, today, I put together a little video about how basically today went. So take a look at it. Enjoy.
終わりだ。信頼など何も生まぬ。
誰かのために自分を犠牲にする。これも人間臭くていいな。
カカロット、あとは頼んだぞ。何？
Isn't that crazy? That is bonkers. I mean, I was down 73.50 today from my SPY puts. Got clapped just like everybody else in the chat. And this comes from not following your trading rules. Because I saw the flow, I saw everything. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get in on this. Nope. Got clapped. Just like everybody else, right? And I almost gave up. Like, I really it took everything in me to not give up. And mind you, this is a loss that it wasn't just a paper loss. It was a loss that I realized like I had to get out, because if I didn't, I would have lost more. So I'm just like, I got to get out of this trade. And I took that and I had to walk away. And, part of me was like, I just can't let it in like this, right? Now, that's dangerous because I could have overtraded. I could have gotten into revenge trading, but I sat down and I looked for some decisive plays. And I told you guys yesterday, if SPY dumps in the beginning half of the day, it's going to pump in the afternoon. If it pumps in the morning and midway of the day, it's going to dump in the afternoon. And sure enough, SPY was dumping most of the day, but then in the second half of the day, it came back. And I was like, holy cow, SPY is going to pump end of the day. So I got into some SPY calls at about 3:30. And lo and behold, voila. So it's just amazing what you can do with short amounts of time. Hail Mary pass, touchdown, end of the game. I mean, it was over. I was done. I was going home, in the first round of the playoffs. Like, it was bad. But Hail Mary touchdown. I did swing the SPY calls, so we'll see in the morning. I had some DraftKings calls that I swung from yesterday. I kept them, but I had to get out. And they actually ended up getting into puts because I found out that they missed on earnings. So I was like, I'm not going to sit here and get clapped. And actually, this position was down, I think, $550 at one point. You can still see there's a day P&L loss of 166, but I came back. It was like down like $600, $600. But then it came back with the puts. This was a play, CA, credit acceptance. I've heard a lot of terrible things about them. They do a lot of subprime auto lending. And if you go in the comments on Webull and other places, they're like, why is this up? Why is it up? They have earnings coming up, and they had a bull flag on the chart. The volume was scary and the spreads on this was terrible, but I put in a limit order and luckily the price dipped and I got filled. And yeah. But it's crazy because when I got into this trade, like I told you, the spreads were bad. So I was down like $700 upon entry. Ouch. So it was fortunate that the trade went in my favor. This was a swing from yesterday. We swung Amazon calls and SPY puts. And amazingly, the SPY, they both actually hit. But you can't see it reflected here because I ended up losing money on the puts. But yeah, they both hit. I think I made like, was it like 300 or 400 on the SPY puts, and then at 397. So that's weird because actually I swung the SPY puts to hedge my Amazon position, but they both actually went. I was like, and like I told you, at that point I could have just walked away. Like, I'm good for the day. Not gonna trade. Nope. Got in, got cucked. So, and then in the SPY, you can see, my position P&L for the day is not. This is the swing. It has nothing to do with the day. I'm actually 205, barely positive on the day with this position because I was down $7,000. So yeah, barely by the skin of my teeth green on the day with SPY. JD was a stupid play. I got scared and bitched out, and if I would have held it, I could have made some serious money with JD. Let me just show you. I mean, I had it all planned out, and I got shook out. See, look at that. And I think I got into these calls here, and it went down, and I was like, I'm getting out. Nope. And then gone. And they had earnings. They got earnings coming out. So I don't know if they'll beat, but that would have been a perfect play. But I bitched out. And so let that be a lesson to you about what happens when you bitch out. So yeah, that is what we have for you today. Like I said, please, if you find value in these videos, like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. We will be in chat. We are in chat every day, all day, during trading hours. If you need any questions answered, we're there. Join our Discord server. It's free 99 there Monday through Friday. Today, and typically, I'm going to try to get back and start doing my Q&As again. So, like, yeah, if you guys want a Q&A, just hit me up in chat and let me know. Share with your friends, like, subscribe, destroy the like button for the YouTube algorithm. We got to get these videos out there so people can see. And that's what we have for you today. So we will see you in chat tomorrow. Remember, risk management, risk management, risk management. Don't do anything crazy. And I'm talking to myself too, not just you guys. All right.
It looks as if our heroes were able to come back from a devastating loss. Amazing! The spy gods were on their side as they took the end of day session by storm. And it looks as if SPY has reversed its downward trajectory. But will the Bulls have enough steam to fight the Bears? And will we be able to break over R1 tomorrow? Or will we fall down? And we also swung SPY calls, so yeah, that's pretty important. Hopefully we don't get clapped. But anyway, find out on the next exciting episode of Trading Bulls